here is El Halluf. First strat is kind of you can do this strat in I think a lot of scenarios. You just kind of need three tanks that are like decent speed. I mean, you can even do it with like 279 kind of speed. You just kind of need to go probably like this and pray they're not like sitting here and aiming for you. Um, if you are doing this push, but if you have 260s, this works great. You just go into the cap, you make them, you put triple cap pressure on, and you force them to do something. Normally, the players they will just come to here and try and get a reset on, or they will come to here and try and get resets, which is why you have these two people here to cover this pressure, and this guy also shoots this for you. This whatever heavy tank you have here will just come to here and just try and harass or annoy the person that goes into the dip. Um, and yeah, is kind of difficult to micromanage because you could go with double heavy tank like this as well instead of sitting at the back. This also works because then you have double tank to pressure over onto this. Because the gun angles from here is not great. You can't really aim up at this unless you have very good gun elevation. Most of the time you'll probably be pressuring this out. It kind of depends, like on their lineup, not on the lineup, but their opening. If they go full top, you should be okay because you can just come to here, maybe. The medium tank can come to here to cover these guys if they just get pushed. And then you just take full under. Maybe the CS can go all the way out wide. And you can just chill and see what happens, really. I can't really explain more because there's so many things that they could do. I mean, they could push this, they could come back to the base. There's a lot. Yeah, so you're just pressuring this, seeing what they do. Most of the time, they'll come fight you because, especially if they don't have like an amazing lineup, like they have TPs or whatever and they're slow, they'll have to YOLO in something to reset the base. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. I mean, you could be like very sneaky and like try and block this with like a 260 if you wanted, maybe just to deny them resets to force them to come into you. But that's up to you if you want to risk maybe losing that tank, all that. Um, yeah, I think that's everything. I mean, yeah, if they're playing like a passive opening, you need to be quite wary because they could punish this going in. Um, but then it's all about north control because if they have a lot here, they'll need to come to the north to reset your base because you can just you sit on here and they are forced to do something about it because well you know you're capping with three people. I think well it's 30 or 45 seconds to cap or something. I think it's 30 seconds. Could be wrong. But yeah, they're forced to bring something to the north. If they're not dumb, they'll open with a lot here and one going north so they can get a reset. But that's why you have the double tank here to stop that reset happening. They might come heavy this way. If they come heavy this way, I mean, it's not checkmate, but like it's very hard because this guy will probably die. This guy will get spotted, so has to like run away. But again, you have the cap pressure. It really depends on how they set up. They have to send something north to reset the base because obviously you can sit here. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're sending like three tanks to go here to reset, and they have I don't know two tanks here or something to stop you capping from any angle. But it's very risky to push like that. Um, but maybe a team does it. But that would be like the counter, I guess, to this strat of just taking like I don't know, like two here probably is enough. Um, one guy in base, three going like this. I think that adds up to seven. I think, yeah. And then hopefully not getting spotted. Or hope they get if they don't get spotted, they just push over this guy, kill him, and keep on going either to here or here. Maybe they send one guy to here, two guys to here, so you can't cap here anymore. You can cap in the hole, but like this guy will just come down and shoot you. These two guys can cover everything else. So yeah, it's very difficult, but that would be the ultimate counter, and they'd have to know what you're doing off opener to do that, and they don't. They don't even see your lineup, so you should be fine. Um, yeah. To the next strat. Okay, next is a very simple strat. This is just you're kind of baiting them to pressure into the C2 dip. You have this guy as kind of as a bait. Ideally, it's like a CS or something. If not, then it can be like a I don't know a 140 maybe something kind of speedy that can get here without being punished by whatever they have, ideally. This guy has to be kind of a CS, but again, it could be another med. It's just you won't see them kind of coming. You'll have to make a quick escape. If they have very good tanks with like 260s and stuff, you might get caught. But yeah, you just need to make sure you're running away in time, ideally. I mean, you could even, if you don't want to risk it, you could just go like this with double tank into the dip. And yeah, the idea is you just shoot them as they come in, and then you have to redump, and this guy retakes the top side. Yeah, it really depends on how your player skill is against the enemy team. If it's a very good team against you, you will probably lose just on player skill. But you just probably make a shield with one of the tanks. So this is the medium tank can live on the edge if you can, and then you just kill everything ideally. It's an ideal world. If they go out with a lot, you just pressure this. Ideally, you like one of the meds like sits here to support this the cross. If you see a lot going across, you probably just dump on this. This guy can probably just stay here for now. Because if they go like this, they're out of the game. You have to push it 2 versus 1, and hopefully you're picking up a lot of guns here. Most likely they will turn back with a lot of their tanks to redump this, in which case you can just, follow in behind them and retake this. And they might, follow you with like a tank to shoot you, but yeah, you got to micromanage that yourself. If they don't come and fight you, then yeah, it's a lot more annoying. I would probably go back with one tank. Would I? I probably wouldn't, I would probably just send it, honestly. This maneuvers, if you're resetting a lot, you don't really care about a loss or a win. You just want a lot of games. If you're at a higher level, you'd prefer wins, obviously, because it's a lot more beneficial. But I would just push this. You want a quick game. If they're fully set up, oh well. They found the counter. Like, it's very odd that they send nothing this way. If you want to take it more slow, I'd probably take a tank back, hold this. But yeah, I mean, if you're just pushing this, you just take this, go kill this. You just go murder them. If they're sending, if they have anything here or here, you just murder it. You should have overwhelming numbers that you should be able to just kill it and keep on going into the next tank and just snowball, basically. Counter would be like they have a tank here, and I don't know, for some reason they have a tank here and here. Like, I don't know, 2 tanks here, tank here, rest like this. It's very difficult at that point. You need to kind of split on this rock to make sure you can't run either side, and then go into this probably. But yeah, if you want to take it more slow, I'd probably return with a double med, maybe a fast heavy tank if you can. You can probably hold this with like 2 tanks, and maybe go in the cap with like 1 tank to put some cap pressure on. Ideally, you want to retake like this so you can cap in safety, and they're forced to repusher this if they want to get a reset, basically. If they're heavy this side, and I don't know, for God's sake, they've gone up here, then like GG. Like, if you push this side, you would have probably won the game, because this going out here makes so little sense, and they're playing insanely passively if they're going like up here. I don't know, they send like 3 tanks this way and they go up here, like, just go next. Like, whatever, if they want to play that way. But yeah, you want to put a bit of cap pressure on them, force them to kind of come back after you take this, probably leave maybe at like 1 of your mediums here, and probably return with the rest. And yeah, that's kind of it, really. You have 2 choices: push this or come back. Your choice, really. If they do like a YOLO cap strat, then you probably want to take the north again, just so you have this reset angle. You might want to leave like a tank back here. I don't know, they send like, let's say they do similar to the first strat I showed, like with 3 in the cap. Then yeah, you want to take the north, ideally, with a lot of your team, to get here to then shoot them. you know, this is not. I mean, it's safe, but very annoying to sit in there. And at that point, you just come to here and you push this out. So you probably want to keep, I don't know, like 6 of your tanks here, and 1 tank goes back just to stop any like funny business of them coming around or into this dip and making sure this is a hard angle. And the rest just push into this. Take this. Ideally, you take this, and you can shoot them now for free. In that case, they are going to probably be set up here to defend that, but yeah, that's kind of how the only way to break it is, really. I mean, you could maybe like mirror it and come into the cap yourself and keep this defended, but yeah, it's very hard. Anyway, on to the next strat. Next strat is, I mean, I've barely played this strat, but it's just a strat if you want to play something different. Maybe you have a lot of slow tanks, and you're forced to not. You don't want to do this cap rush, maybe. Strat that I showed. In that case, just set up defensively here so they can never pressure into your base. You send the rest of your team south. Try and take this, try and take this, start going up to here. Try and take this balcony with like something, and then you just see what happens, really. So like in an ideal world, you get maybe something like this. Then you just get prepared for whatever push. If they push this out, then you just pressure the top side, get guy into the cap. Maybe you run under like this with this tank. Maybe you run to here. It depends on what you can run to. And yeah, you just repressure the north, try and get a guy into the cap, force them to do something silly, hopefully. Either pushing this maybe or pressuring back up to the north. They'll probably have something in the north, but hopefully you have, you have your 4 kind of heavy tanks that can push across. It is dangerous. You might actually set up something like this instead, because if you want to cross this gap, you might get shot like this on this cross. So maybe 1 is staying here is fine, and you have double on this corner, 1 in here. You could even put double here if you wanted, but yeah, that's up to you. Yeah, I mean, if they're playing south, then like it really depends on how far they're going. If they're bringing like, I don't know, 4 tanks, which is insane, like you just set up defensively if you can and see what happens. You probably want to maybe send like a guy to the cap, maybe a guy here, and come back with 1 tank so you cover it with 2. But like it really depends. And there is counters to strats because it's just 77. It's the nature of it. Right, here is a strat from North, or a replay from North. This is not really a strat I showed you previously, but I just thought I'd include this, and I don't think I actually have many replays from the north side of El Halluf, so thought I'd just have at least one to show you. But I mean, this game could have basically started our whole team going B2, probably, because it just ends up like that, and because we see them playing A2 themselves, we just send our CSs around into their back to go around here to basically shoot them in the back, while we have our whole team here ready to shoot them if they try and push us. They have a very annoying setup for this map, to be honest. Double 50B and double 279, it'd be very hard to push into this. Well, you'd never push into this lineup, and you're about to see they have a mouse, I think. So yeah, if we went like full here from the start and dumped in, I think we'd be in a very bad place, to be honest, because they have so much health. But yeah, obviously we have to fall back now. That is, basically 7 tanks pushing us. Obviously they go A2 with 2 tanks, so we have to reinforce this. So Eclipse doesn't just die for free. And yeah. Now now we have them in a decent crossfire now. So it's actually not too bad, to be fair. Nice pen there as well. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what you're meant to do. If you do go full B2, you can just send a guy around to shoot them in the back to kind of not make them push into you, but most of the time they will just push into you because they'll just go, oh, a tank is out the game, let's go push. Which, can work if the enemy team is bad and gets caught with tanks. But, if you don't get caught and you go into these positions in this crossfire, it's going to be very hard for the enemy team to try and push you here. And, yeah, as you can see, we just kind of slowly killed them off crossfires and won the video game. Yeah, after our CS came in, we were up so much health. So, yeah, GG. Right, next for South. This is just kind of a punish strat. You go here with your heavy tanks. You punish this cross. If they try and send anything to the cap, you punish it back. Or you just punish it. Hopefully you should kill it. There's 4 of you aiming, probably even 5, maybe 6. You should kill this guy before he gets into the cap, hopefully. And then you're gun up. Straight after that, if you get no shots on anything here, you instantly can rotate up to the north. This guy can take to this, or maybe up to this. And you can just stay here with all of them, all tanks. You do not go to the 1-2. You can go like this with this tank. You can go up to like here, maybe here. And you can come even with the medium as well, up to here. And the idea is, basically, if they go back, you just take the north and you keep capping. If they might hold this with 2, but yeah, you just overwhelm it. Hopefully you kill it, you win. If they go full north and then stay north, and they go into the dip here, and they go with the rest of the team here to this, then this guy can probably swing to this here. This medium tank can shoot if they try and peek on him. And you go like, here on the outside bit here. You should be kind of safe. If not, you can just sit here if you're like, I don't know, you have an IS-7 or something, and you can just sit there and just aim for this or try and hide as much as you can. Or you just go under here and accept that they're going to peek on you, but you do damage, hopefully back. Most of the time, they'll pressure this group. In that case, you just go back into this, so you got fire support. If they're not coming, like if they're just sitting here, then you just take the map. Like this CS can maybe come to here, and this guy can come to here, and you just force them to do something. Maybe you send this guy back to now, and then you pressure from this side. If they go into this, then you have crossfire from here. If they turn around and go back into this, if they have anything with dip, you can dump it. If they they'll have something here that you can dump, probably, if they decide to go back for these, like heavy and medium tank. Really depends on how much they have here. If they have 3, then yeah, it's just a stalemate. You see what happens. Yeah. Right, here is a kind of fast strat. You could do the first strat with a fast lineup. It also works. But if that is, you can also do it with a heavy lineup. It also works, which is quite nice. That strat. But yeah, you're in the strat. You're just pressuring the corner. If they come A1, you just have a fight. Like, I can't really describe more than that. Shield, focus fire, hopefully win the game. If they come heavy here, then you probably want to come back to this. I mean, it depends on how fast your medium tanks are. If you have a CS that peeks here and he sees nothing, then you probably just stay here with your heavy tanks. And maybe you just swing them into here. If, I don't know, they just sit, then you sit. Like, you can't really do much because all your tanks are now trapped here. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's just this map. If they do a cap strat from the north, you probably just want to take. It's either you push all the way to like here to get resets, and then have one guy staying here, maybe 2, and you just kill the guy in the cap. Oh, the 3 guys in the cap. If they just have 1 guy in the cap, it's not like a massive issue to reset, because this side, like, this is a better position to get resets. They can't hide here. If they hide here with 1 tank, you're normally going back to the base in this case. If they're sending triple tanks into the cap, I would recommend just keep on pushing, and try and get to here. If you can get to here, fantastic, but I think here you get basically all resets on the cap other than here, but then this guy can overpeak once and get them reset. Yeah, I mean, you might just send like, I don't know, let's say these are like E5s or whatever, but then you just send all 3 heavies with maybe 1 medium. Maybe if you think you can get away with it, or I don't know, you've seen like a lot of their team and they don't have a lot here, then you could probably just keep a CS back here so they can't like hide anywhere basically. But I think with this and this crossfire, you should be fine. But obviously, you need to be careful of the cap timer because you don't have strike in this mode. So, but after you take this, you should be fine. You might go just like this in most cases. Because if they're sending triple into the cap, they're normally having a lot here to stop that play. They might have like 1 guy here, the rest here, 1 guy in the cap. Sorry, they might have 3 in the cap, 1 here, and then like maybe 2 or 3 up here, right? And they can't really push into you. You should be fine here getting resets. The only place now safe is like down here from these people, and obviously here, but like if they go here, then these guys can shoot them. If they go to here, it's a bit more difficult because they have to overpeak, but then you can just kind of keep on pushing this if you have the time and take this side of the ridge. If they have 1 in the cap, yeah, I would go south again just to retake this side and leave like, I don't know, 2 in the north, probably, maybe 3. I would go back with that, probably a guy here. I mean, it depends on the tank you want to stay. If he's fast enough to run away, I would put him here. So he spots, this. And you have 1 guy spotting this, so you can never get surprised. And you have 1 guy watching the cap, so he can't sit anywhere other than probably here. After you get this control again, you can kind of shoot into the cap, and you should be okay. And if worst comes to worst, you overpeak for this guy, hopefully once, and get the reset. That's kind of it for that. Right, here's the first replay. For Halluf South. I think this is the strat I showed you first. And yeah, basically all you kind of need for this strat is kind of like a fast heavy tank that can go into the cap and like a medium tank that can go here. And as you can see, they're doing something similar to us, but we are punishing it a lot easier than they are. And luckily we get a nice track there. And yeah, he's 1 shot. The game is a very good position. Also, they have 2 in the south here, so that makes you think they probably are staying in base with the rest. Yeah, they have an E3 for some reason. But yeah, now we just want to take the north here to get the kill on the 113. Well, we just leave 1 or 2 in base just to cover me, because they obviously have 2 in the south and an E3, so we are equal numbers here. We get the kill on the 113. Lovely. Now, it's quite important. The person that goes here should always be ready to sit in these bushes. Especially in a medium tank, you basically shouldn't be spotted here unless they have like a light tank with CVS. So yeah, like I have very good vision. These people can't go up without me seeing them. The i7 should be able to shoot them as well. There you go. And yeah, I mean, you're just bleeding them for doing this play. And sneaky shot there. But I mean, basically, they have bled so much that the game is kind of over already. Yeah, like 2 kills up basically for free. I really don't think anyone took any damage. And yeah, now we get the E50M for free. They sent that 277 up the north to probably reset the cap, and we can just kill him. If they didn't have anything, where the CS is now, you just send your whole team up to the north and you just go fight. And I would have taken a bit more into their base probably. But yeah, and yeah, the game's over, just like that. The only thing you probably need to be careful about this strat is it's like the yellow cap with like 3 delayed, maybe, but I don't think any team will be doing that, to be honest. Fortunately, I die there. But yeah, just a very clean game. I think the strat will be very nice if you don't want to really lose tanks. Because you don't really lose that many tanks unless they just dog YOLO 2-line into your team when you take the north again.